Georgia Journal rolling on this week, and we are enjoying the Ocmulgee Indian celebration, a celebration of Native culture here at the Ocmulgee Indian Mounds, a historic site that we've told you about on a previous episode, how that there's 20,000 years of human history right here. And joining us is Little Hawk. Good day, sir.
Good day. How y'all doing today?
We do well. We've been enjoying some of the native dance that's going on. Little Hawk, tell us a little bit about where you're from and what brings you back.
Well, I'm from the Muskogee Nation down in Oklahoma, in the central part of Oklahoma, around near Tulsa, and it's a little town called Ocmulgee. So, and it's named after this place right here, which is actually our home base. You know, this is where all our ancestors had started from, originated from. This is like the main town. And from here, everybody went back to Ocmulgee, Oklahoma, you know, after the 1812, 1830s, after the removal and stuff. So that's where I'm from.
And so it is a return to your roots, so it's got to be a special feeling for you to return here.
Yes, it is. It is. Right, like when we're doing the stomp dances and stuff out here, what we do is actually it feels like we're dancing with our ancestors and stuff. We're just paying respect and homage to what we some of the stuff that we lost, and we're bringing it back to show everybody that not all Indians dress up in yarn and do the powwows and stuff, you know, and not all Indians live in teepees and, you know, everything. We're woodland Indians that learn how to survive out of the woods and stuff like that. And so that's what we're bringing back here to show everybody that John Wayne was wrong.
Yeah, the interpretation of the films aren't always accurate.
Are not always accurate, and you know the way it was, you know, and that's why I've gotten into this. Like helping out the parks, the national parks. You know, I do Moundville. I also do, Fort Toulouse and all of Alabama. And this is my first time up here this year to Macon. And they was telling me about everything up here, all the culture and history, and you know, anything about my people that I like. You know, I mean, and it just enriches my knowledge. So that way I can go on ahead and share it with people back at home. So that way we can go on ahead and continue that learning, knowledge, heritage, you know, the culture. And they say that whenever I came back up here, you know, I was down in Oklahoma, and I was dressed in boots. I was dressed in blue jeans, and I was all dressed in, you know, good old cowboy t-shirt with the hat on, 2 feathers hanging off of it. And then I come all the way down here, and I had some friends that said, well, you know what would be nice if we go on ahead and dress you like they did in the 1800s. I said, well, that'd be fine. That would be real fun. So I said, and that's what I've been doing since probably about around 98. And and what happened was I've learned a lot of different history. You know, I mean, I've even learned everything from anywhere from 1756 all the way up until now, you know, and I put it all together with what's in the present and what's in the past, and then bring it to you while I'm out there stomp dancing.
And I noticed while you were dancing, you were encouraging participation from some of the guests here, some of the visitors.
Yes. That's what we're here for. We're for them. We're here for them. You know, because if you're out here just dancing around, we'd call it practice. You know, we'd call it practice, but it's not practice. We're out here showing them what part of living history is. And we're trying to enrich their knowledge, so that way when they watch TV, they say, well, them Indians don't do that, you know, and that's what we're trying to break, that stereotyping of it, you know. And once you get stereotyped, everybody will come up to you. Do you still live in teepees? No, we're the woodland Indians, you know. We live in lean-tos, you know, or however, you know. You got up in Alaska, you know, they live in igloos. Right. Yes, So, that's what I'm down here for. And also, it's just not for me to teach everybody. I'm learning from people too. I'm learning from people too, because I have a whole lot of different cultures around here that come from like North Carolina, they come from Florida, and they come from Oklahoma. And there's a lot of people that I don't usually see in Oklahoma because Oklahoma's pretty big. So what happens is we all get together like this, and after the show's over, we all go to the motel or whatever, and we share knowledge. And I bring it out the next day. And so as long as you keep practicing that knowledge and using that knowledge, what's going to happen is, well, it's not going to die. And that's how the old Indian stories are passed along. That's how our stories are passed along. All we do is just go on ahead and listen to the elders. And once the elders tell us, then we go on ahead and share it, pass it on, and then we pass it on to the younger generation, so that way the culture will stay alive.
Certainly, it's through oral interpretation.
That's right. That's it.
And that's the way the culture is preserved, the traditions are preserved, because the way the settlers worked against the native peoples, they wanted to try and erase that culture.
Yeah, they can erase the people, but they can't erase the knowledge that was passed down from generation to generation. Our knowledge is, like I said, our knowledge is in the stories that we tell around while we're dancing, while we're singing. Those songs are not only like a witnesses of ourselves, it's also stories that's passed down from generation to generation to generation. And it's all about fellowship when we're dancing, because without the fellowship, well, ain't nobody going to be together. There'll be no world peace. There'll be nothing, because this whole world's falling apart because what? There's no fellowship. And if you had fellowship, everybody be sitting down, enjoying each other and talking to each other, everything. So then that's what we're here for, we didn't learn that from any books. That was taught from our grandpa. I was taught from my grandpa, my great-grandpa, my great-great-grandpa, and they just passed it on down, So what we're going to do right now is a guinea dance for you. And what I want y'all to do is, if y'all run out there, and I'm going to sing it, and what's going to happen is if y'all see a girl, y'all guys, if y'all see a girl, y'all decide, oh, wow, I want to hold her hand. Well, come on out. And if y'all girls want to go out there and hold a guy's hand, well, just come on out. What it's going to be is the men are going to be on the inside and women are going to be on the outside, and y'all just feel free to come on out, okay?
Our guest this week, Todd Wilson's Georgia Journal. We've got more of the Ocmulgee Indian celebration coming up. We're going to head to a break, and we'll leave you with some more native dance coming up.
Okay, and at this time, I'd like to introduce the members of the Muskogee Nation Honor Guard.
Welcome back to Todd Wilson's Georgia Journal. On an earlier edition of this program, we visited Ocmulgee National Monument, touring the museum, the mounds, and the trails. In this edition, we return to Ocmulgee, bringing you highlights of this year's 20th annual Ocmulgee Indian Festival. The annual event brings together members of multiple Native American tribes, some of them descendants of the peoples who once called this area home. Offered at the celebration are demonstrations of the way Native peoples spent their daily lives, hunting, cooking, arts and crafts, plus music and dance. Park Superintendent Jim David explains full details about the annual gathering.
So far, this is the biggest ever. Yesterday for Saturday, we had almost 9,000 people out here. Of course, the weather is just perfect. It's been cool, no rain, and so it's been a fantastic turnout. People are out here learning from the Native people, seeing the dancers, hearing the singers, the flute players, the storytellers, seeing some fantastic artists and craftspeople here. It's just been going fantastic.
And this is an annual event, 18 years now?
This is actually the 20th.
20th, that's right.
Yes. And so yeah, and then once again, I've been here for 15 of them, and this is by far not only the biggest, but the best weather one. This is just great.
Well, it hadn't been too hot, it hadn't been rainy, so it's been excellent weather, and that's obviously part of the reason that so many people have come, but also maybe a learning experience for them as well.
Oh yeah, as I tell people, this is the chance to really come and meet the true Native people. There's all kinds of stereotypes out there. In fact, I occasionally even have school kids ask me, said, "Are there any Indians left?" And so this is to show that, yeah, the culture is still very much alive, still very vibrant, and these are the true people. Unfortunately, here in Georgia, there are no federally recognized tribes. And so, of course, they were all removed in the 1820s by the Federal Indian Relocation Act. And so for them also, this is a homecoming. Like for the Creek people especially, this was their historic homeland. In fact, in their cultural oral history, this is where they first sat down as a people. And so they love coming back here because this to them is a homecoming. They're all out in Oklahoma, they've been removed to Oklahoma, so they, to them coming back to Ocmulgee is coming back home.
I was talking with Little Hawk earlier, and he said that where he lives in Oklahoma is Ocmulgee.
Yes, in fact, that's the capital of the Muskogee Creek Nation, is at Ocmulgee, Oklahoma. Now they spell it with a K instead of a C, but yeah, you'll find a lot of the place names that were here in Georgia have that same place name out in Oklahoma, because a lot of even the modern towns are carrying the names of the Creek towns. And of course, when they were removed, they took the town fire with them and started the new town fire out there with the name of the town.
And of course, we still have many of the rivers in the state of Georgia that retain those names: the Chattahoochee, the Ocmulgee, the Oconee. Those rivers would all have been named by the Native peoples here.
Yes, correct. And once again, yes, frequently the English translation or whatever has frequently been switched a little bit from the original name, but yeah, usually based on what the Native people were calling them, yes.
And I guess the Ocmulgee, I've always heard, was bubbling waters?
That's correct. Yes, it's creek for bubbling waters.
Dance was a major part of the Native American culture, as Little Hawk explained earlier. Another that was performed for guests was called the Stomp Dance.
But next, we're going to have the Creek Stomp Dancers. And the types of dancing that you're about to see, very similar to what has been performed here in this ground for hundreds of years.
Various demonstrations were set up at the Indian celebration, which showcased how the Native Americans lived. The earliest Native peoples in North America, of course, lived off the land. They used what was available to build their homes. Clothes, and tools. For example, clothing and shoes would be created from hides from animals they had hunted. A tree trunk, well, it could become a canoe. The branches of the tree would be used to make bows, spears, and arrows.
We've been doing this almost 40 years between the two of us. We were born and raised in this culture out of Cherokee, and we love our history, and we love coming to meet other nations, and we just enjoy it. I mean, to meeting other people from other nations, other tribes. The art's a dying art, so it helps us, and I got my two sons and his son. They're on a different one. They're on a different power now. They're actually in East Tennessee right now doing one. But we travel together. We try to do as much as we can. My brother William's real good carver. We do a lot of mask and basketry, as you can see in the background. We do a lot of basketry and stuff. So. And we love to enjoy the kids.
And it passes the culture because...
Yes, sir, it does. It sure does, yes.
The only divisions of the Indian culture they might see would be on a TV or in a movie, and they're not always accurate.
Absolutely now. We used to do what you call chiefing in Cherokee. We've been in a lot of books, a lot of movies, and things like that. It's not really what it is. Cherokee is, we call it Ocmulgee. It's a way of life. It's not about the name. We're not Indians, we're Ocmulgee. Cherokee. That's us. We enjoy that, and we enjoy everyone else that enjoys us. It's a great thing. You got a great place here, in Macon, Georgia, of course, and we're looking forward to coming back again.
Todd Wilson's Georgia Journal continues in moments right here on WRWR. Todd Wilson's Georgia Journal rolling on our visit to Ocmulgee National Monument and the 20th annual Ocmulgee Indian Festival.